We're doing yoga for self-massage today, and we're going to work on wrists, neck and shoulders, back, and feet. So let's begin in a comfortable seat. You can sit cross-legged if that appeals to you. You can sit in a chair or on a couch or on the floor. And we can gently begin to center ourselves, maybe bring our back away from the back of our seat. We can gently close our eyes, sit a little taller through the crown of our head. We'll inhale, lengthening the crown of our head, and we'll exhale, melting our shoulders down away from our ears. And we can check in right now with neutral. How do our bodies feel before we begin our practice? Is there a part of your body that you feel a lot, even sitting still? Things feel relatively calm. It's helpful to know what we did in our practice. We can measure that by taking stock at the beginning. We can blink our eyes open a little bit. And now we can gently begin to create some movement in our neck. We can begin by tilting our chin skyward. So we're not necessarily dumping our head back, but we're lifting and lengthening through the front of the throat, lifting the chin skyward. And now we can lift the back crown of the head up, so lifting and lengthening the back of the neck. We'll alternate between those two. If it feels good to match your breath with your movement, you can inhale, lengthening the chin, and exhale, lengthening the back of the head. We'll come to neutral. We can gently swing our necks, so we'll send our chin low. And we can move from one shoulder gently to the other shoulder, swaying a bit like a pendulum here. We don't want to do anything that feels aggravating or painful, so if either of these movements or any of our future movements don't feel good, try a gentler version. What would be a gentler version of this? Maybe just looking left to right, slightly low, left to right. So feel into your body. Notice which amount of movement feels good to you. And now we'll hold at the top of one of those sways, and we can start to feel the stretch along the side of our neck. And then we'll sway to the other side. Again, feeling where do we feel a nice, good stretch here. We'll return to center. And we'll use our fingers to gently move our hands up and down across the back of our neck. And if it feels good to rest your back into the back of the chair or couch, if you've got that, you certainly can. It's a nice, gentle, sweeping movement. You can apply a little bit of pressure, or you can just very lightly move your hands against your skin. Both ways are good. We'll make our way towards the front, but we don't want to press on our esophagus at the very center. We'll make our way back slowly, doing that same movement, working our way back towards the spine. And we'll find center. You can notice the effects that we had in our hands as well. Is there a warmth or tingling in our fingertips? We'll take a few rounds now of the bee breath. The bee breath is a humming that creates a vibration in our ears, our head, our neck, and so it's a wonderful internal massage for our neck. We can use our fingertips, and in a moment we'll gently plug our ears, pressing the ear closed. So that little flap on the ear, we're going to press that back. We're not sticking our finger in our ear, but just pressing back. When we do that, we will exhale and hum. Then we'll release that pressure on our ears to inhale naturally. And again, we'll create that pressure to exhale. The exhale hum can be long and slow and smooth, just like if you are chanting Om. So, or any other speed that feels good. You can feel into it. There's a sweet spot for me when I'm pressing just the right amount, when my volume is just right, that it creates a very round feeling, much like a crystal singing bowl, if you've encountered those in the past. So here we go. We'll inhale. And oh, there's I'm babysitting for Penelope and she's barking. We can gently close our eyes, rest our hands down, and notice the effects of the bee breath, feeling that vibration in the vertebrae of the spine, in the ears, in the mouth, in the eyes. We can sit a little taller now, and we're going to prepare to do a nice twist for our spine. So create an internal twisting. And once we're there, we're going to use our breath to create a deeper massage for our bodies as we are twisting. So we'll begin opening our arms up nice and wide, lifting tall. And now on an exhale, we'll twist over to the left. I'm sending my left hand behind me. My right hand comes onto my left knee. I'm gently twisting my body. Now here, I can inhale, lifting the crown of my head taller. And with my exhale, I can deepen the twist. I'm not forcing anything. I'm not making my spine feel uncomfortable. But what I am doing is creating a dynamic breathing here where my body is moving with my breath. And together we'll inhale our arms wide and overhead. We'll take a breath here, pausing to feel the difference between sides. We'll inhale and then exhale, twist in the opposite direction. And again, we'll breathe dynamically, inhaling to lift the crown of our head taller, exhaling to shine our heart to the side of the room, to deepen our twist. I'm always inhaling through my nose here, the option to exhale through the mouth if that feels good. We'll inhale both arms wide and overhead once more. And now we'll open our arms into a letter T. We're going to prepare to create another internal massage. We're going to begin by sending our heart forward, our shoulder blades together, arms back, maybe even flexing at the wrist. That can be a really deep, nice massage for the wrist. And now we'll cross right arm over left arm. Take a deep hug. I like to connect my fingers to my shoulder blades, but if you can't touch your shoulder blades, that's fine. Your arms can be anywhere so long as you're really feeling a nice deep hug. With that constriction, it's a little harder to breathe with our arms wrapped around. We want to inhale deeply into our back. We want to fill that space between our shoulder blades with each inhale so that we're creating a stretch for our upper back. So again, we're using our breath to create a massage here. And now we'll open our arms wide, shining our heart forward, stretching into our wrists. And this time we'll cross our left arm over the top. Again, we can connect our fingertips to our shoulder blades or our shoulder or our arm. And again, we'll use our breath to create a massage, inhaling and stretching into the space between our shoulder blades. One last time, we'll send our arms wide and open. And we'll rest our hands down. Pause to notice the effects, notice the difference between sides. And we'll do a little bit more for our wrists here. We can send our hands forward, flexing at the wrist, and we'll gently flow and move from having our hands up to down. We'll rest down. And because we're working with our whole bodies today, our next massage for our wrist, we're going to use our knee. So if you are able, you can lift your knee up. If not, maybe you can use another object. I could even stack my fist on a tabletop and I could rest my hand on a tabletop. I'm going to use my knee, and I can even use my left hand to just help hold gently. I'm not squeezing hard, but to gently help hold my arm in place. The massage is now going to come from my wrist. So I'm going to rotate my wrist. Let's go counterclockwise at first. So as though my fingers were touching the surface of a clock, I'm moving counterclockwise. You can feel that extra massage that happens in the tendons. This is a marma point right here on our wrist as we create that rotation. And now we'll rotate in the opposite direction. We'll move clockwise. And if you can play with the placement of your hand on your knee, the placement of your wrist on your knee. And now I can rest, pausing to notice the difference between sides. I think that's such a deep massage. I really still feel the effects of that in my wrist. We'll lift our other knee. I'm going to lift my right knee now. Rest my left wrist on top of my knee. Again, I can use my right hand just to help stabilize things. And again, we're going to begin counterclockwise, rotating our wrist. And notice how that rotation of the wrist is creating a massage in our forearm. And now the other direction. And we'll gently rest once more, pausing to feel the effects of that massage for our wrist. I'm going to lift my left knee again, supporting my right hand. And now I'm going to create a massage for my forearm. So I can gently squeeze. You can see how I'm holding my hand here. Just squeezing my way across my forearm. When you get to a spot that you really feel, whether that's in your wrist or up here, I a lot of times feel things more here. I've been very good about my hand yoga lately, so to be honest, I feel that more in my wrist today. So once I find a spot that feels kind of interesting, maybe a little more tender, a little different from the other areas, I can start to flex my wrist up and down. And again, that pressure, just holding a nice firm grip. I'm not squeezing as hard as I can, but just a gentle, firm grip. Again, the movement now from my hand is creating an internal massage. And pause to feel the difference. And now the other side. So I'm going to rest my left hand on my right knee. And I'm going to squeeze my right hand all the way up and down my forearm. Just observing, being open to the possibility that this hand feels different than the other one. I do lots of asymmetrical things with my hands because I'm right-handed. And so it's very rare that it's exactly the same. So here, the part of my forearm closer to my elbow, I'm feeling that a little bit more. So now I can gently, again, move my hand up and down while applying a gentle but firm pressure. And I can feel the massage that that is creating internally. And we'll rest. Oh, that's so nice. We'll rest and pause to feel the difference between sides, noticing the effects. As we move towards a foot massage, I'd like to begin with our calf. We're going to do a very similar massage for our calf. So here, especially if you're sitting in a chair, you might want to move down to the floor. I'm going to lay down on the couch rather than be here, or at least lean back a little bit. So I've got both of my knees up. I'm reclining comfortably, and I'm going to create a massage for my right knee first. So I'll keep my left knee bent, and I'm going to rest my right calf on my left knee. And here, I'll even pull my leg up so you can see what's going on. It's hard to see with the black. So here, same as I was resting my arm on my hand or on my fist, now I'm resting my leg on my knee. That's activating another marma point. And I can begin now to create some rotations. So I'll begin again, counterclockwise first, rotating my ankle. And you can feel that stirring, that extra activity in the calf because it's gently resting on my knee. Now I'll switch and begin a clockwise rotation. And we'll pause, gently closing our eyes to notice and feel the effects. Observing the effect in our left knee as much as we observe the effect in our right calf. Now I'm going to switch, and I'll rest my left calf on my right knee. I'll take a second just to settle in, make sure I'm in a good spot, sort of mid-calf. And now I'll rotate counterclockwise. I hope you can hear my niece Penelope, who I'm babysitting for. She's snoring a little bit, and it's such a sweet sound. Very relaxing. Okay, the other direction. Clockwise rotations. And once more, we'll rest our legs down. You can rest your legs straight, keep your knees bent. Any comfortable position to pause and notice the effects. Now bend my left knee, and I'm going to rest my left ankle. So before I was mid-calf, now I'm going to rest the back of my ankle, that Achilles tendon area, on my knee. And if it feels good, I can use my hands to help hold my knee in place. And again, I'm going to begin with a counterclockwise rotation, massaging the back of my ankle. And now the other direction, we'll move clockwise. You can always readjust, play with the placement of your ankle. Maybe even use an extra hand to hold it steady. It's very, very lightly holding it steady. And once more, I'm going to rest, pausing to feel the effects of that movement. And I'm going to set myself up now to do the opposite ankle. So I'm resting my left ankle on my right knee. I'm going to use my hands to help hold my knee steady. We'll begin with a counterclockwise rotation. And now clockwise. This is lovely to do with your whole back on the floor, with your head resting on the floor. Okay, we'll pause again, noticing the effects. And before we move on to our feet, we're going to do one more massage for our knee. This is a massage that I really love to do. I'm going to make sure I have a little more support for my head here. I will straighten my left leg. My right leg, I'm going to put my hands into the knee pit. Not necessarily interlacing, but just one over the other. My thumbs can frame my knee. And here, I'm going to create some rotations for my knee. So I'm not creating the rotation for my ankle, but instead, as though I were drawing with my toe, going up to 12 o'clock, over to 9 o'clock, down to 6 o'clock, up and over to 3 o'clock. So my hip is moving in order to get that rotation. And now I can very gently stir counterclockwise, drawing a circle on the wall with my toe, creating a circular rotation for my knee. And I like to rest in between sides. So here we'll make our way again. And if it feels better to interlace your fingers, you can do that too. You just don't want them to feel squished. So now clockwise, beginning at 12 o'clock, I'll come over to 3 o'clock, down to 6 o'clock, over to 9 o'clock, and continue in that clockwise direction, the rotation coming from my knee. You can see how steady my hands are here. My knee feels so tired by the end of that. So again, we'll pause and lean back to rest. Now I'm ready for my left knee. Again, I'll clasp in my knee pit, and I'm going to begin counterclockwise, creating a nice, smooth, gentle rotation. You can play with your speed, maybe try whatever comes natural to you, and then see, what if I slow it down a little bit? It's probably going to be the nicer one. You can also play with speeding it up. And we'll rest between rotations. And again, I'm going to take my hands in my knee pit, and this time I'll move in a clockwise direction. I like to do counterclockwise first, clockwise second, because counterclockwise is a direction more connected to the moon's energy of letting go, releasing, relaxing. And then clockwise is more connected to the sun's energy, activating, energizing, filling. It can be a nice order. Oh. Nice and tired knees can relax for a moment. Pause to notice the effects. And that type of movement I like to think of as a stirring movement. So notice the effects of that stirring. I'm going to sit up a little taller now so that I can reach my feet. I'm going to begin with my right foot. And first up, love to see how flexible you are, right? What position is comfortable? If you have a pillow handy, maybe you can rest your foot on a pillow. Can be further in front of you than it is for me. See what feels right. So here, I like that pillow gets my foot up a little higher so you can see it better. I'm going to begin it first just by creating a little extra space between my big toe. And if that feels okay, for some people that's going to feel pretty intense, and then that's all you want to do. But if that feels good, you can work towards interlacing all of your fingers between the toes. So we've got 5 toes and 4 fingers, which fill all of those gaps. And then as though I were just gently clasping, so like holding hands with someone walking down the street. Just a very gentle hand holding. This is really relaxing, activating the marma points that are in the gaps between both the fingers and the toes. Especially if we feel any tightness here, if we are really experiencing a lot of intense sensation, then we might want to inhale through our nose and exhale through our mouth to release. You can gently unwind. And now for our foot, we can do a gentle massage on the sole of the foot. And we're going to keep doing that counterclockwise first, then clockwise routine. So here on the sole, if I'm looking at my foot, I'm going to move from 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock to 3 o'clock and repeat. I can create that massage with my fingers, with my thumb. If I'm resting my thumb a little more comfortably, I can use both of my thumbs to create that stirring on the sole of my foot. You might be familiar that sometimes I like to use my elbow to massage my hand like that. So if you're feeling flexible, if it works for your body, you could use your elbow to gently stir. You could also use something like a tennis ball, so you don't have to press so hard with your fingers. You could use some kind of tool to get in there. But you also don't have to press hard. It could feel good to press hard, and that's nice, but it can also be really relaxing and nourishing to experiment with a lighter touch. So here, just as though I was petting Penelope, here I can use a really light touch on my foot as I move counterclockwise. And now we'll shift to a clockwise rotation. And so again, maybe I want to use something more activating at first. And then maybe I'll move into a lighter, gentler touch. A lot of times with massage, we are looking to invite that parasympathetic response from our body. We want a relaxed nervous system. So sometimes a lighter, gentler touch is actually more effective at getting us into that very gentle, relaxed state. So we'll gently rest down, pause to notice the effects of those 2 movements on our feet. It can be lovely to close your eyes and feel the effects that are still lingering. And now I'm going to create that same sequence of massage for my left foot. So I'll begin by putting my right finger in between my left big toe and the next toe. And if that feels good on this side as well, then I can go a little deeper. And you can keep your fingers near the tips of your toes if that's all you can do, or This has been part of my practice for a long time, and I'm also a big flip-flop wearer, which I think impacts things. So to me, it feels really nice, and I don't get that tightness or that intensity that I used to here. It just feels really good to deeply, firmly clasp my hands. So honor how your body is feeling in this. It should not be a deep, intense pain. It should feel relaxing and supportive and opening. Okay, and now I'm going to release my hands, pause to feel the effects, let my hands settle down a little bit. And then I can move into the massage for the sole of my foot. So again, I'm moving counterclockwise first, and I can tell which way is counterclockwise by looking at my foot, finding 12 o'clock, then 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and repeating. There are so many ways that you can activate or stir the sole of your foot. And then we can move into perhaps a gentler stirring, just like we were petting a puppy. And notice, is your ankle really tight or tense, or is it supported and relaxed? Could be another nice reason to incorporate a pillow. I'm looking to relax our body. And we can rest for a moment, just feeling the effects. And now we'll do clockwise. So we might want to stir with a little bit more intensity at first. You might also find that the opposite feels better on your body, that you like to do something gentler at first and then work up to a more intense touch. Tell it's summer. I have so many bruises on me. It seems to always happen in the summer. Okay. And now I can center my body. For me, it's going to feel good to put my feet on the floor, I think. Just pause to feel the effects of my foot massage. And we'll return to our breath, similar to how we started with our bee breath. We don't need to put our hands on our faces after they were touching our feet, but we can do a little bit of ujjayi breathing. Ujjayi breathing is a gentle tightening of our throat so that you can feel your breath moving in and out of your body. And it's also called an ocean breath. It's also called a Darth Vader breath. It sounds like this. So there's a gentle tightening as though your breath were a ribbon that you're just pulling through your fingertips. We want to notice the way that that massages our throat from the inside. We'll take a few breaths like that together. With your next exhale, you can let go of the ujjayi breathing, observing how it feels to breathe gently and silently, noticing the effects of our massage in our hands, in our wrists, in our neck, in our back. And if there's anything that feels good to you as one last movement, maybe tilting your chin skyward again, maybe twisting. Just honor that inner voice. Take a moment to do any extra gentle movements here. Maybe open your fingers and toes, giving them a wiggle. And then we can open our eyes. And thank you everyone for practicing a self-massage. It's amazing how you can massage your body from the inside out.